So you have a bit of a conundrum. If you've done your job well as a CEO or a private equity investor and you've enrolled very capable, strong, smart people who have a large drive and capacity to contribute, then you have all of these different viewpoints that have to be factored in when you're having strategic conversations. So on the one hand, we know that we want to create alignment in a team. People who are aligned, who are heading in the same direction for the same purpose, for the same reward, tend to work a little bit better. And yet on another level, we want to have diversity of viewpoints. How do you create an environment where people feel free to contribute a controversial viewpoint?
That is a challenge. that is a challenge for sure, and we've come up against that, quite a few times, especially with the amount of people that we have now. I think the key element when you're dealing with that is one, you start at a level of respect, right? You remind the team of your respect for each other and the chemistries that we talked about that need to be there at the beginning. But then the other part is the support needs to not just be talked about, it's got to be shown. So follow up is key. We have numerous ideas that come to the forefront of what we should do, and sometimes the challenge that we have is not every department has every piece of the puzzle, and so sometimes those things that come up to the top, the ideas that we could do this better or do that better, some I would say that we embrace and we move forward on, and the ones that we don't provide more challenge, because not only do you have to convey that, you need to continue this, but you have to show that you thought through the whole idea and that you understand it. So one of the key things that we learned from I use all the time, by the way, I learned it from you, Keith, is paraphrasing, where you got to understand the idea first. So saying it back to the person in your own words gives them a sense of, okay, well, they got the idea, or gives them the opportunity to say, no, you're way off base. It's not all what I'm talking about. And I think that that's a skill that the better that you get at paraphrasing, gives the person the feeling that their idea has been honored and respected.
Okay. How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I'll steal one of your lines. The first time we met Terry, he used the phrase "respectful challenge," and it's a great line, great tagline, or a great way to conduct yourself with your partners. And I've seen you do it many times, and we use it actually internally. So we stole it from you. You should have trademarked it. But I think the key. I agree with everything Terry said, so I won't repeat it. But having that environment or culture of respect is absolutely key, and probably the biggest thing all of us can work on is listening. And I catch myself doing this, if I'm just waiting for the other person to finish talking so I can tell them what I think, that's not active listening. If you listen to people and you respect them and you have that debate and ultimately a decision's made where everybody had input, you're not going to have problems.
And you don't talk over them.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, yeah, right. You're not going to have issues 99% of the time. People feel like they were heard, and they'll charge ahead.
I will say, it's funny. I was thinking of this while you were talking, Jeff. You want the person. Yeah, I was listening. I heard the whole thing. I waited for you to be complete. The other part of that too, though, is the idea can change even as the person vocalizes it, and so I've seen that too, where the idea comes out and you get to the end and it's like, I'm not sure I believed it, and when the other person paraphrases it, it actually helps you, because you end up in a spot going, yeah, that is what I said, but that's not what I believe, so I want another run at this. Yeah. And I've done that a few times, but I will say that, another thing from my background is you need to practice. So a growing company is a perfect place to practice because I get all different people from all different walks of life, to practice on, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
So there's a natural shift that happens with entrepreneurs when they go out and seek funding, right? They're in growth. They want to be in growth mode.
Yep.
And sometimes we see, like from a private equity perspective, you see the entrepreneur and they're more of in a fixed mindset. They've always done things this way. They don't want to change. There's that natural tension that starts to happen between the PE firm and the entrepreneur. Has that ever happened with the two of you where you've said, I'm just going to shake him. Why can't he just get what I'm trying to say? Or why isn't he open to it?
Yes and no. It's interesting the way you phrase that, because when I think of, so we partner with entrepreneurs all the time. Like I'd say probably 80% of our investments are with people that have the same drive Terry. Well, maybe not as much, but a lot of drive like Terry. So to me, entrepreneurs just have this amazing mindset. I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, Terry, that they're out to prove everybody wrong. Like they have a unique view of the world, and they're going to prove that things can be done differently. I think when they partner with us, they're out to prove that we were right to back them. So it's a little bit of a different dynamic. And all entrepreneurs are all a little bit different though too. So I'd say in our partnerships, and I'm involved with a half dozen companies and probably 15 in my career with TriWest, there's two roles. There's the gas and the brakes. So sometimes TriWest can be the gas because we're trying to get that entrepreneur that's been very comfortable in a steady state environment to really push the business, which is I think what you were getting to. And sometimes we're the brakes. So Terry's the gas in this one and I'm the brakes, and that's where the conflict can happen, but it's not a bad conflict. It's just it's more along the lines of Terry might be five innings ahead of us. Like I'm still getting ready to bat in the bottom of the second and he's already in the seventh. So we need to constantly communicate and make sure we're I'm understanding what he's thinking in terms of how he's going to grow the business, and he's understanding how our world would think in terms of will that create and maximize value for the business, which we both want because we're both material owners in the business. So it's fascinating though. Like I think entrepreneurs are fascinating people, period.
I would absolutely agree with you that there's times where the entrepreneur myself would be wanting to prove no, you can work this way. Just we'll stay at this a little bit. But I also, I've thought a lot about this whole gas brakes. It's roles is what it is, and you need those roles. And you talked about it earlier, Tina, about the diversity. If he's the gas and I'm the gas, well, we have weaknesses, right? And so if he's the brakes and I'm the gas, we're stronger, and the people in it that are associated with our business provide a bunch of other sources, and sometimes I've seen people on our team where our CFO Ben Drummond, I've seen him flip sides, so he's the brakes, and then he's the gas.
He's a chameleon,
right? And that's a good thing, because what's key in the chemistry of relationships and working together, and especially in ours anyways, the success of Jeff Belford and Terry Bandera, our relationship working together has been, I recognize it. I know when the brakes are coming, and he knows the gas is coming, and that's fine. And when we deal with each other respectfully, that's fine. That's fine too. What the result is the end result is, what we built becomes better. That doesn't relinquish any of the frustrations that come with that. Of course, I get frustrated when I want to go ahead. I want to forge forward, and we don't. Lots of times I'd say that served the company really well, because upon reflection, well, it was good that we paused for a bit. I'm ready to go again.
Yep.
It's a good thing we have that on tape.
Yeah.
It's all good.